Hello and welcome to the Wealth Mode channel. So, you've seen all of the news on Trump's tariffs and maybe you're wondering how this all affects you. Clothes, coffee, your iPhone, even that bottle of wine you enjoyed on Friday. It's all about to cost more, and in this video, we're breaking down what's going on, how it impacts your day-to-day spending, and the smart moves you can make right now to protect your money and future wealth. For decades, the US was one of the most open economies in the world. In 2017, the average tariff on imported goods was around 1.5%, the result of decades of free trade deals and global cooperation. Then came Trump. In his first term, tariffs crept up 25% on steel, 10% on aluminum, new duties on Chinese goods. By 2021, the average tariff had doubled to about 3%. Fast forward to 2025, and the escalation is no longer gradual, it's historic. Trump's second term has brought a blanket 10% tariff on nearly all imports. Countries like China now face combined tariffs as high as 145%. That's pushed the U.S. average tariff rate to 22.5%, the highest since 1909. Even though some hikes were paused on April 9th, most of the damage is already locked in. And the 90-day exemption on electronics? Trump says that won't last. He's calling for new tariffs on smartphones, semiconductors, and the entire electronics supply chain. This isn't just politics. It's a stealth tax on your lifestyle, a squeeze on your spending, and it has the potential to become a slow bleed on your wealth creation. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what changed, how it's going to hit your wallet, and what to do right now to protect your money. Let's get into it. President Trump just launched the most aggressive trade reset in modern U.S. history. Starting April 5th, every product entering the U.S. is now subject to a baseline 10% import tax, no matter where it comes from. On top of that, about 60 countries labeled the worst offenders are being hit with even higher rates. The EU, India, Vietnam, South Africa, and others are now facing customized tariffs ranging from 20% to nearly 50%. And China is the target of the sharpest escalation, hit with a 145% tariff on exports to the U.S., so a $10 item from China now costs $24.50. And that is just to land in the US before any markup. Trump says it's about economic independence. He's called it Liberation Day. And yes, there's been a 90-day pause for some countries to avoid full-scale retaliation, but for China, the tariffs are already in effect. Here's the part that hits closer to home than most headlines are explaining. The end of the de minimis loophole. This rule allowed packages under $800 to enter the U.S. duty-free with minimal inspection. It was meant to simplify travel and small cross-border commerce. But companies like Shein and Temu scaled it into a loophole empire, shipping billions in ultra-cheap goods from Chinese factories straight to American doorsteps without paying any tariffs. In 2018, de minimis shipments totaled around $5.5 billion. By 2023, that number skyrocketed to $66 billion. Nearly two-thirds of those packages came from China or Hong Kong. Now that pipeline is getting taxed hard. Starting May 2nd, each package will face a 30% tariff or $25 per item, whichever is greater. On June 1st, that rate jumps to $50 per item. And after China's retaliation, Trump fired back again, tripling the penalty to $75 per item, with plans to go as high as $150. At first glance, this looks like a direct hit to fast fashion. And it is. But the impact runs much deeper. If you've ever ordered tech accessories from AliExpress, beauty tools from TikTok ads, drop-shipped a side hustle product, or bought from an eBay seller sourcing overseas, you're going to feel this. Micro brands that source directly from Asia, Etsy sellers using imported parts, even U.S. resellers with overseas inventory all face new friction. The end of de minimis forces a shift. These aren't just policy tweaks, they are price hikes baked into nearly everything. And for anyone trying to build wealth in this economy, understanding where your money could be bleeding out is the first move. Let's look at how all this plays out in your actual day-to-day spending. The stuff we all reach for in the grocery store, swipe for on Amazon, or impulse buy at checkout, it's all getting hit. Let's start with clothing. Basics from places like Target and H&M are about to get more expensive. Because the country's making a huge chunk of that clothing, places like Vietnam, China, and Bangladesh are now facing tariffs as high as 46%, and that pressure rolls straight into the final price tag, making it cost more for you and me at checkout. Next, coffee and groceries. Most of the coffee you drink comes from Brazil and Colombia, both now hit with tariffs. Olive oil from Italy, cheese from France, spices from India. Shelf staples just got a premium price tag. Sneakers are next. Nike and Adidas both rely heavily on Vietnam, and analysts expect prices to rise by 10 to 12%. That new pair of Air Force Ones or Sambas might feel different when they cost more than you expected. Then there's alcohol. French wine, canned beer, imported spirits. Anything coming from Europe is facing a 5 to 20% bump. Whether you're stocking your bar cart or ordering drinks at a restaurant, you'll feel it. And of course, tech. iPhones are mostly made in China. Samsung manufactures in Vietnam. Nintendo is already delaying pre-orders for the new Switch because of tariff uncertainty. Sony has increased the price of its PlayStation 5 Digital Edition by 25% in response to these tariffs. So if you were planning to upgrade your phone, grab a new TV, or pick up a console, budget more. And this isn't just a one-time price jump. These are structural shifts, the kinds of changes that quietly raise the floor on what everyday life costs. Let's zoom out. Because the real impact of these tariffs isn't just higher prices on sneakers and groceries. It's the hit they deliver to your ability to build wealth, not just in your wallet, but in your portfolio. Start with the basics. Every extra $100 you're spending at the store, well, that's $100 not going into investments. Multiply that across months, then years, and you're talking 5 or 6 figures in missed opportunity. This is the silent tax on wealth building. When your day-to-day costs go up, most people don't cut back on lifestyle. They cut back on saving. They delay investing. They fall back into paycheck-to-paycheck cycles just to keep up. And tariffs? They're sticky. Once companies raise prices, they rarely walk them back. These changes don't reverse. They reset your entire cost of living. But it doesn't stop at everyday spending. Tariffs ripple through the markets. When a new round of tariffs drops, the stock market reacts fast. Volatility spikes. Companies that rely on global supply chains like automakers, semiconductors, and consumer tech brands often take the first hit. Higher input costs squeeze margins. Earnings drop. Some companies pass the cost on to you. Others delay hiring, pull back on investments, or start cutting. Even companies not directly affected get caught in the crossfire. Consumer demand softens. Supply chains get messy. Corporate planning slows down. If you're investing through a 401k, Roth IRA, or brokerage account, your portfolio feels it. But it's not all doom. Tariffs shift where the opportunities are. Sectors that operate mostly within U.S. borders, like utilities, healthcare, regional banks, or consumer staples, tend to hold up better. Some may even benefit from reduced foreign competition. At the same time, companies in third-party countries, think Mexico, Vietnam, or Thailand, may grab more market share as supply chains reroute. The key is staying flexible and informed, because this isn't just about the price of milk or the cost of a phone. It's about the compounding effects of a more expensive life, and how that affects your ability to save, invest, and hit major wealth milestones. That Roth IRA you've been meaning to max out? Delayed. That house down payment? Shrinking. That investment account? Underfunded. This is how wealth gaps widen. Not through some sudden crash, but through slow, quiet cost creep that compounds over time. And if you're not moving intentionally, the system will move you by default. Now let's talk about how you protect your power. Because this isn't about cutting lattes. It's about cutting through the noise and making moves that actually protect your long-term freedom. 1. Spend with precision. Start tracking prices like your money depends on it, because it does. Use tools like Honey, Camel, and Rakuten to stay one step ahead of price hikes and cashback opportunities. Bulk buy essentials you know you'll use, especially before tariff spikes hit. And when you can, shift spending toward brands or products that aren't caught in the middle of this trade war. A little country of origin research goes a long way right now. 2. Increase your income insulation. Don't let rising costs trap you in a fixed income mindset. This is the moment to start that side hustle you've been thinking about. Add a new skill, build a second stream. Inflation and instability don't hit as hard when your earning power is growing. 3. Keep investing anyway. Even if it's just $50 or $100 a month, automate it. Stay in the game. Use tools like index funds, Roth IRAs, or HSAs that give you long-term tax advantages and protect you from inflation's slow drain. Because here's the truth, even $100 a month today beats $0 a month during inflation. Compound interest doesn't wait for the economy to stabilize. Neither should you. 4. Reassess lifestyle creep. Audit your recurring expenses, streaming subscriptions, delivery apps, random digital charges. Ask yourself, does this feel good or does it build good? You don't need to live like a monk, but in a high-cost world, every dollar should either support your peace or your progress. Ideally both. This is how you move through chaos without losing momentum. Strategic spending, growing income, steady investing, minimal drag. That's not just surviving tariffs, that's flipping on wealth creation mode. So yeah, this isn't just about paying more for sneakers, it's about paying more across your whole future. The game has changed, prices are up, trade is shifting, and wealth is getting harder to build for anyone who's not watching closely. But here's the good news. You are watching, you're learning, you're moving with intention. And that's the difference between getting squeezed by the system and navigating it on your own terms. Because when the rules change, you don't panic. You adapt, you pivot, you stay in wealth mode. Like this video if it shifted how you think about inflation. Drop a comment. What are you doing to protect your wealth right now? And subscribe. Because here we break it down clear, we keep it real, and we make sure you don't just survive the chaos. You grow through it.